Universal justice, a non-selective principle. Justice, to be truly meaningful, must be universal and uncompromising. Any crime against a living being, whether human, animal, or the natural world, constitutes pure injustice and deserves condemnation without exception or favoritism. If human life is sacred only in certain places or for certain groups, then powerful slogans like "never again" become empty political rhetoric, stripped of moral weight. 1. The core moral principle. All violations of life and dignity must be rejected equally. Justice cannot depend on identity, geography, political alignment, religion, ethnicity, or historical narrative. Selective outrage is not courage, it is convenience. True integrity requires defending every oppressed people, every occupied land, and every silenced victim, regardless of who they are or who opposes them. 2. Gaza is a documented case of injustice. The events in Gaza during the major escalation following October 2023 serve as a stark, contemporary example of recurring patterns in human history, not as an isolated or exceptional case, but as one that must be acknowledged factually. Reports from credible international organizations documented severe violations, including collective punishment of the civilian population, indiscriminate bombing causing widespread civilian casualties, the deliberate use of starvation as a method of warfare through restrictions on food, water, fuel, and humanitarian aid. For instance, the International Court of Justice (ICJ), in its January 2024 Provisional Measures Order in the South Africa v. Israel case, found that there was a plausible risk of genocide against Palestinians in Gaza and ordered Israel to take all measures to prevent such acts. ICJ order. The 26th of January 2024. Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International concluded that Israeli authorities used starvation as a weapon of war and imposed conditions of life calculated to bring about physical destruction, amounting to acts consistent with genocide. For example, HRW report, December 2024 on water deprivation. Amnesty International December 2024 conclusion on genocide. UN bodies, including the OHCHR and Special Committee reports, for example, November 2024, described methods of warfare involving mass civilian harm, siege tactics, and intentional deprivation consistent with genocidal characteristics. These were not mere opinions, but legal and evidentiary findings on record, acknowledging them as a matter of intellectual honesty, not bias. 3. Historical parallels. Oppression repeats when selective. Gaza must be viewed within the broader arc of history, where similar injustices have been justified by power, empire, or ideology. Examples include the genocide and displacement of Native Americans during European colonization of the Americas, the brutal colonial exploitation and mass violence across Africa and Asia, the ongoing struggles and oppression faced by peoples such as the Kurds. Condemning one while ignoring others exposes hypocrisy. Time does not erase the criminal nature of oppression, nor does political inconvenience silence its victims. Selective memory allows history to repeat. 4. Why truth is resisted. Power sustains itself not only through force, but through controlled narratives, selective outrage, and manufactured consent. When inconvenient truths are avoided, people defend harmful systems and attack those who expose them. The real prison is often psychological, built on denial and double standards. Conclusion. This is not a defense of any state, leader, ideology, or historical criminal. It condemns without exception neither Israel in its actions, nor any past empire or colonial power, nor figures such as Hitler, nor individuals like Saddam Hussein who killed, tortured, and displaced vast numbers of his own people, destroyed parts of his country through brutal campaigns, including the documented ANFAL genocide against the Kurds, with chemical attacks such as Halabia in 1988 that killed thousands of civilians and left a legacy of mass graves and repression. It is a defense of truth itself, consistent, universal, and uncompromising. Justice belongs to principles, not to nations, alliances, religions, or political conveniences. Beyond human institutions and courts lies a higher accountability, one of divine justice under the King of Kings, where no crime, no silence, and no justification escapes reckoning. This is a call for moral coherence, not hatred or violence. May God protect all people, all lands, and all creation from Iblis and from the devils among humankind. The end. Best regards. Mikhail Ibn Ali, the 24th of January 2026.